Hello, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday, where I give you tips, ideas, and encouragement on how you can live a love-fueled and healthy life. If you are new here, my name is Ana Maria, and today I'm going to be discussing with you how you can incorporate gratitude into your daily routine. Now, if you're like I was a few years ago, hearing the phrase, be grateful for what you have or count your blessing sounds great and all, but it's really hard to know what to do with those phrases if you don't know how to put it into practice. And that's exactly why I wanted to cover this topic, because it's something that's really, really close to my heart. A few years ago, I was going through some of the most intense depression that I had ever faced in my life. I was experiencing crippling anxiety, going through panic attacks almost every day, and I was really stuck in this state of mind that was extremely negative and worried. And I have to say that during this time, I was so fortunate because I was working with two different therapists throughout this time span who really had a practice of encouraging me to cultivate gratitude and to look at the positive things in my life, even though it didn't seem like there were many. And they gave me specific techniques to use to cultivate gratitude that I want to share with you now. And before I dive into that, I want to first go a little bit deeper into why exactly gratitude is so important. And while I was researching the benefits of gratitude, I stumbled upon this excerpt that I thought was so impactful and really impressed me. And it says, according to the Nobel Prize-winning scientist Daniel Kahneman, each day we experience approximately 20,000 moments. A moment is defined as a few seconds in which our brain records an experience. The quality of our days is determined by how our brains recognize and categorize our moments, either as positive, negative, or just neutral. Rarely do we remember neutral moments. So I believe that we can use this knowledge to our benefit by training our mind to place more value on the positive moments and remembering the positive moments and experiences in our lives over the negative ones. And I'm not the only one to think this. In fact, there has been so much research out there looking at how many positive moments and experiences you actually need to outweigh the negative ones. And the most prominent of these studies comes from John Gottman, who is one of the leading experts in marriage and relationships. And he has found that the magic ratio is 5-to-1. And because this study was specifically for relationships, it means that couples need at least 5 positive interactions for every 1 negative interaction if they want to have a long-term, happy, and successful relationship. Now, this study was for relationships, but I do think that it applies to individuals as well. And there have been other studies looking at this, and the ratio has come out a little bit different in each one. Some are 5 positive experiences for one, like John Gottman's, others are 4-to-1, and others are 3-to-1. But the main takeaway is the same, and that is that the more positive experiences and interpretations you have throughout the day, the better, because you're more likely to outweigh the negative ones that way. So, how do we actually do this? How do we choose to interpret more positive experiences than negative ones? Well, I think the biggest tool for doing this is by cultivating gratitude. And I want to say this because I don't think it matters if you are naturally a more positive person or a more naturally optimistic person, or that you have to be having things going well for you in your life versus having things going badly for you in your life. I really do believe that cultivating a more positive outlook, cultivating gratitude is a practice. I call it a mental workout because it really is something that you have to train. In fact, if you are somebody that's going through a harder time, facing anxiety, going through depression, just going through hard events in your life, it's actually more of a reason to start doing these practices because it's going to build that muscle even stronger. So let's go ahead and get into these specific techniques that I have for cultivating gratitude. And I have these listed out in levels, and I want you to just go ahead and choose whichever one works best for your lifestyle and which one you think is going to be the easiest to incorporate in your life right now. Personally, I have tried all of these and I think they all work, and I also like to rotate them based on what I'm really needing. So here, let's go ahead and start. So level 1 is called the ABCs of gratitude. And I really like doing this one at nighttime because I notice that it's at night and when I'm starting to go to sleep that I really start getting worried, all my anxieties start coming up, I start focusing on what I did or didn't do throughout the day, what I need to do tomorrow, and this is a practice that helps to intercept that. So all it is going through the ABCs and associating each letter with something you are grateful for. And I like to interpret this as things that are specifically in my life or things that are just in the world that I'm really appreciative. So for instance, I'm really grateful for animals. I love that animals exist because they bring me so much joy and I find them so fascinating and interesting, and I believe we can learn so much from them. B, I'm grateful for the banana nut bread I had today because it was so comforting and it's one of my all-time favorite foods. And you can go throughout the whole ABCs. And if you're tired of going through ABC over and over and over again because you find you're falling asleep, go ahead and just pick up where you left off. Say you make it from A to F one night, go ahead and pick it up after that and continue on. So level 2 is to practice gratitude on your morning and afternoon commute. Now, if you're like most people, you probably have to commute to work. And when I had to commute to work, I would commute everywhere from 20 minutes to an hour based on my mode of transportation and what time of day it was. And I found that this was the perfect time to practice gratitude because it was a time in my day that was non-negotiable. It was a time in my day that I knew I had, and I knew that I had at least a set 20 minutes amount of time to dedicate. I didn't have to set my alarm any earlier to do this, and I didn't have to go to bed any later. It was really easy to just put it into my routine right away. So how you can do this, you can do this a number of ways. If you believe in a higher power, you can practice a prayer to God, to the universe, to Mother Earth, or any other power that you believe in. Or you can even simply just meditate on what you are grateful for or list them out in your head of what you are grateful for. And I found this also really helpful because I noticed that going to work, I was often very resentful because I wasn't necessarily working at a place that I really wanted to, or maybe I was just feeling really frustrated. And it allowed me to kind of change and rewire how I was approaching the day and how I ended my day. So practicing gratitude on your commute is really, really easy, and I think you will receive a lot of benefits from that. Level 3 is to write down 3 moments you are grateful for at the end of each day. And this one is my all-time favorite. This is the one that I have practiced the most, and I still practice to this day because it is so simple and yet it is so effective. So all you do is at the end of every single day, you just take a little sheet of paper. If you already journal, you can add this to your journaling routine, and you just write out a little sentence. I'm really grateful for the dinner I had with friends. I'm really grateful for the stranger that smiled to me on my way to work. And what's beautiful about this is it can be really big things, but it can also be really, really small things. In fact, this is the practice that I started using when I was going through a really deep period of depression, and I felt like I was just always in the dark. But it forced me to comb through my entire day and rake through my entire day to find specific moments that brought me joy or brought me light or brought me laughter. And oftentimes they weren't big. They were really little, but because I was paying so much attention to them and because I forced myself to pay attention to them and remember them and write them down, they had more weight. And so my days started to get better and better and better and better. So I really recommend this practice in particular. Level 4 is to write an in-depth paragraph about someone or something that you are grateful for. So in Level 3, I said to just write about a moment and just a quick sentence. In Level 4, I want you to dive a little bit deeper. So this also doesn't have to be something that happens in your day-to-day life. This can just be in your life in general. So you could write about your aunt who you're really grateful for, or you can write about a thing like technology, for instance. And I want you to get really specific. So for me, for instance, if I say that I'm really grateful for technology, I'm really grateful for technology because it is what allows me to stay connected with my friends and family back home. It's what allows me to be doing this right now and be sharing my message with you and really encouraging people to increase their self-love and their health, because I think that's something that's so important. And if you do a person, you could even take it one level up and share that note with them. If it's somebody you see every day, or maybe it's somebody from your past that you want to just say thank you to, you can write them an email, what you were grateful for, or just send them a little note. Level 5, and this is the last level, is to write why you are grateful for your frustrations or things not going your way. So this one is obviously the most challenging one because it's a lot easier to focus on what things are naturally more positive or good in your life. But this one is probably one of the most impactful because it allows you to reinterpret things that you originally thought were negative and change them around in your mind and rewire how you look at it. So this could be something like, for me, last week, or actually the last 2 weeks, which is why I haven't been able to do Wellness Wednesday, is I got really, really sick. I had been going. I was traveling, and I'm so grateful I was able to do all of that, but it really took a toll on my body. And when I got home, I completely crashed. I was super out. I was really congested. I could hardly breathe. I was really sick. I couldn't go outside. And the list could go on. And this practice allowed me to stop in my tracks and just say, you know what? That was my body really looking out for me. I'm so grateful that I had that time because left to my own devices, I will continue to keep going. But because I got sick, I was forced to rest, and I was forced to just allow my body that relaxation that it really, really needed to recuperate and get energy to move forward. So to recap, cultivating gratitude can impact your long-term outlook on life and overall increase the quality of your life. In the short term, it can reduce your stress, it can bring more feelings of calm and ease to your day and allow you to feel more present, and it can also make you more inclined to extend more empathy and generosity to others. So to recap my levels, you can go through the ABCs of gratitude and associate each letter of the alphabet with something you are grateful for. Level 2, you can practice gratitude on your morning commute. Level 3, write down 3 moments you are grateful for at the end of each day. Level 4, you can write an in-depth paragraph about someone or something you are grateful for. And level 5, you can write why you are grateful for your frustrations or things that don't go your way. And as a reminder, gratitude and having a more positive outlook is something that you have to train your mind for. It does not necessarily come naturally, but you are capable of doing it. Now, thank you so much for joining me. If you just have one more moment, I want you to keep watching because I have a little bit of an announcement to make, and that is I actually just got my 6-month certificate for health coaching. So many of you know that I've been studying at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition to be a health coach, and it is a year-long program. But now that I've reached the 6-month mark, I am able to start health coaching. So my doors will be open to you if you have a specific health goal that you want to work on, or if you want to increase your self-love. I am going to be offering my services soon. Right now I'm working behind the scenes, revamping my website and getting things ready. So I want to invite you to head over to my website. The link is in my bio, or if you're on Facebook, I'll attach the link below. And I want you to go ahead and sign up for my newsletter if you are not already, so that you are the first to know when I offer my services, and you will be the first one to be able to sign up and be eligible to receive special offers and discounts on my programs. So head over to the link in my bio, sign up for my newsletter if you haven't already, and last but not least, be sure to practice one of these gratitude techniques this week, and I encourage you to practice it at least 3 days in a row and see how it changes your day around. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Ciao.